Hey, what's going on everyone? I'm the OPJellicent, and we're team building here for week number 7 in the IBL D-League, up against PlatinumHowler and his Coquitlam Red Gyarados right here. Definitely a very big match, because he wants to try to stay ahead in the playoff race, and I definitely want to secure my bye week. We are currently 6-0, so one more win would actually secure a bye week for us. We're already in the playoffs, but I definitely want to try to win as many games as possible right here. Let's go ahead and just hop right into the matchup right here. So, definitely not as bad as my other two games in the last 2 weeks. The matchups against Sharpedo 43 and Dr. Slacking are a lot worse than this one in my opinion, and I have a really unique win condition going into this week again. But let's go over his roster first. He has an Infernape right here. I decided to go ahead and make it a Zmon. Really big threat against my team. I actually think Special Infernape is a lot better against my roster with the combination of like Fire Blast and Vacuum Wave to go ahead and out-prioritize Weavile. That could all be very valuable right here. So I could see Special coming, but the problem with that set is it's kind of walled by Goodra. However, he has a lot of other options to go ahead and break through Goodra with like Lottie and Mega Gyarados and whatnot, so I could see Special Infernape coming. Other than that, I could see like a Swords Dance variant with a Z move to go ahead and just blow back Landorus T or Reuniclus 2. That could definitely be a situation right here, so just gotta keep things to watch out for right here. I do have a dedicated Infernape response on my team, so that's very good right here. He has a Sylveon, which Sylveon's not too big of a deal. It's kind of naturally checked by a lot of my physical attackers, being Mega Lopunny and Landorus T. They both 2-hit KO it. Weavile does get access to Poison Jab, however, that's not going to OHKO it because it's not a Z Poison Jab. I can't run Z Weavile, so gotta keep that in mind right here. And yeah, Hyper Voice is pretty spammable, but it doesn't really break through Pokemon like Empoleon at all, so not quite sure whether he's going to decide to bring that or not. Raikou is another Pokemon he has right here, which Raikou kind of has a bad matchup right here. Walled by Goodra, struggles against Shaman, however, he could love the Volt Switch momentum it provides, but I do have a Ground type right here in Landorus, so not quite sure what route he's going to go with Raikou right here. Would not be surprised if he just completely left it off the board. He has a Nidoqueen right here, which Nidoqueen, similarly to Nidoking, which I faced 2 weeks ago against Sharpedo 43, is a really big threat against my team. The combination of its coverage is just really strong. Thankfully, Nidoqueen is not actually that strong as compared to Nidoking from what I know, so maybe Reuniclus can take it on. Maybe Goodra can go ahead and help out too. I could see like physical Life Orb Sheer Force coming for sure, or I could see some sort of like bulky rocks variant with a lot of Fizz Def to go ahead and check stuff like Mega Lopunny. That could definitely be a thing right here too. In terms of other things it switches into, Thundurus Eye can definitely be something it checks. However, Thundurus Eye is one of my Zmon, so if I do decide to run Psychium Z, which I am not running Psychium Z, he still has to keep that in mind though, so that's going to be very important for him right here. He has Delmi, so he does have a Rapid Spinner on his team, and I don't believe I have a Ghost type. I do have Mismagius, but Mismagius kind of has an unmatchup right here, so I'm not bringing that. However, the Delmise is a big threat because Ghost type attacks do really well against my team as a whole. My only actual switch in, I believe, is Mega Lopunny, and that's going to get blown away by Power Whip. So he could be like banded with like Power Whip and Shadow Claw, and that could be very scary to switch into. However, even bulky Landorus T can go ahead and just take that on. So yeah, defensive Landorus T is so good. It really doesn't care about that thing at all. Triple Stab is very scary though, so like Stab Anchor Shot could be very scary as well. He has Mega Gyarados right here. This thing is the biggest threat to my team because it kind of forces me to run a Scarfer that's faster than it with like Thundurus Eye or Shaman. And Scarf Thundurus and Scarf Shaman do really badly right here, so Mega Gyarados is such a nuisance for my roster to deal with. This is one of the Pokemon in particular that I'm very scared of right here because if it starts to Dragon Dance up, I kind of just lose the game right here. I do have one check, but it kind of requires me to sack a Pokemon to be able to check it, as you guys will see when I go over my team right here. But I'll just go with that game plan and hopefully it works out. He has a Skarmory right here, which Skarmory is one of the better walls against my team. With like Mega Lopunny, Weavile, it walls my Landorus T quite well too. It does have to keep like Smackdown plus Earthquake in mind, so definitely nothing that he can keep out of account right there. However, it doesn't get OHKO'd by Earthquake after I smack it down, so I could see like counter just to OHKO my Landorus T be a thing for sure. He has a Latias right here. I think Latias could be one of his better Choice Scarf options. However, he could also bring like a bulky Calm Mind variant to go ahead and 1v1 Reuniclus because setup Reuniclus is actually a big threat against him right here, so I could see Latias being a way to 1v1 that said right here. Other than that, yeah, Scarf makes sense. Specs also makes sense right here. The combination of Thunderbolt and Psyshock kind of just hit my entire roster because Psyshock hits everything and Thunderbolt goes ahead and hits Weavile and Empoleon right here, so that could definitely be a thing right here too. Yeah, on Mega it has an interesting matchup because it does really well against stuff like Weavile, Landorus T, the Reuniclus. Obviously Weavile has Ice Shard, I do know that, but it could run HP Ice for Landorus T. It's able to go ahead and pressure Mega Lopunny with Air Slash, however. It does not break through my most common special walls, being Empoleon, Gooter, and Deontay right here, so if he's expecting those Pokemon to come, I definitely think he'll just leave it off the board right here. He has a Kangaskhan, which Kangaskhan normal spam could be a thing for sure. I believe I only have 1 resist and 1 immunity. Miss Magius gets blown away by Sucker Punch and doesn't even do that much damage back. And then Deontay kind of gets blown away by Earthquake, so Kangaskhan actually has an okay matchup. However, it's once again walled by a lot of my more physically defensive mons, such as Landorus T and potentially Fizdef for Uni, so not quite sure what route he's going to go with that. And then finally a Cloyster right here, which Cloyster is a threat for sure. Definitely something I can't really keep out of the picture right here because Shell Smash Cloyster, I'm pretty sure he's gotten a sweep with it once this season, and I do have to keep that in mind too, so just got to be careful about the Shell Smash, and yeah, that's going to be his team right here. Let's go ahead and get into the 6 Pokemon that I'm bringing. So starting out my team right here, I have Dimensions, my Mega Lopunny, which is earning an Adamant Nature. Their fastest Pokemon is Raikou, and with 228 investment, I can go ahead and outspeed that no matter what. So we have Max Attack Adamant right here. I actually have Baton Pass on the set, and the reason is because Skarmory does not really care about Mega Lopunny at all, and if I'm expecting that to come in, I can just go ahead and Baton Pass into another Pokemon, whatever seems fitting, whether it's Thunder Aside to pressure the Skarmory, and Empoleon to go ahead and get up rocks. That's definitely going to be very useful right here. And then other than that, normal spam just does super well against their team. I actually think they don't have a single switch in, right? Delmise is hit by return due to my ability Scrappy, so that's very helpful right here. I do have Fake Out. I haven't actually ran priority on this thing in a while, so decided to go ahead and bring back the Fake Out right here. And then of course High Jump Kick in case I need that to OHKO like Mega Gyarados and whatnot, so that's going to be very good right here. I'm hoping that Baton Pass tech can actually get shown off right here. That would be very cool. Skarmory comes in, I Baton Pass on that turn, and then get momentum into whatever I want. So that can be a very, very useful scenario right here. Adamant Return actually has a chance to 2-hit KO defensive Sylveon if I have hazards up, so that's very helpful right here too. And then I can obviously go ahead and OHKO stuff like Infernape, Raikou, and then the Nidoqueen will get 2-hit KO'd too, depending on whether I have hazards and how much investment he has right here. I do have to be careful about Scarfers though. Scarf Infernape can go ahead and knock me out, as well as Priority Infernape, like Vacuum Wave or Mach Punch can be very scary. Scarf Raikou can run Aura Sphere if he really is about that. He can run Scarf Raikou Aura Sphere right here, so gotta keep that all in mind right here, but it should definitely be a very good matchup for Mega Lopunny. Let's go ahead and get right into my primary win condition. Okay, so my primary win condition this week is actually brewing my Mega Deontay. It actually has a nickname now. Back in week number 1, which was the first time that I brought it, it actually could not earn a nickname because I didn't have nicknames for that week, so we have brewing our Mega Deontay right here. It's once again a win condition set with a Rock Polish plus 3 attacks, Moonblast, Power Gem, and Earth Power right here. If I can scout out the Scarfer, maybe get a Thunder Wave on Twit and whatnot, I can go ahead and outspeed it after a Rock Polish, and all I need is damage on Sylveon. Everything else gets blown back. I have coverage to basically hit everything super effectively right here. I do have the Pastio Berry because it's able to go ahead and take a hit from Cloyster. If I can go ahead and switch it on the Shell Smash and then in failsafe, I sack off my win condition to get rid of theirs. That's basically the scenario right here. It's also able to go ahead and take a hit for Mega Gyarados, which is very helpful. I don't know if Cloyster gets Steel type coverage. I don't know if he would run HP Steel right here. All things I do have to keep in consideration, but hopefully we can go ahead and see the Rock Polish sweep right here. Not much else to say. I do have a modest nature because I don't really need the speed for anything. I believe my speed was just outspeed their fastest Pokemon, which was a Raikou, so that's very helpful right here. And let's go ahead and get right into my third Pokemon. Okay, and rounding out the first half of my team, I have Mancini, my Thunder Asai, which is earning a Thunder Wave 3 attack surge right here. This is my plan for Mega Gyarados. If they bring it on a Pokemon to try to set up, I go hard switch into this thing. If they don't fear the Scarf and just attack, I Thunder Wave it and then try to revenge it with something else, whether it's Mega Lopunny, whether it's my Reuniclus, although that'll get outsped anyway because Reuniclus is super slow, so probably Mega Lopunny would be the thing I revenged it with. And if they get fully paralyzed on the turn that I Thunder Wave it, I can actually just knock it out with Thunderbolt too. Definitely not what I'm going for, but it's my best bet right here. I really did not want to bring Scarf Thunderous because it just does so badly right here against Pokemon like Raikou and Nidoqueen, so I figured that this set would be a lot more effective right here. I actually have Poisonium Z Sludge Wave for the Sylveon because, like I said, I do need damage on Sylveon for my Deontay right here. I was actually going to run Steelium Z Iron Tail to go ahead and guarantee the OHKO on that thing, but when I was running the Calx, even like Spidef Sylveon gets knocked out by Poisonium Z if I do manage to get my hazards up, so I figured this would be fine right here. And even if I don't knock it out, it will put it in range of my Mega Deontay, sorry, regular Deontay no matter what. Have I been saying Mega this entire time? I hope not, but yeah, basically Poison EMZ guarantees that it's in range of my Deontay win condition right here, so that's very helpful. Psychic is obviously here just to hit Nidoqueen for something. I didn't really need Hidden Power Ice right here because there's no way I'm staying in on Latias anyway right here because I do not have Dark Pulse, unless I intend to Thunder Wave that thing. Who knows, but let's go ahead and hop right into the second half of the team. Okay, getting into the second half of the team right here, I have Mike Mylander's T, which is actually running a fast set right here. It's like a fast, bulky offensive spread right here with enough speed for Nidoqueen, and then it is my Stealth Rocker for the team right here. I got U-Turn and Defog on it too, so it's both my Rocker and my Defogger, and I do have enough speed for the Nidoqueen, as I said, so I can hit that with Earthquake. Gotta be careful about Shuka Berry, but because I have enough speed, if they are Shuka, I go for Earthquake, they go for Ice Beam, we both live, but then next turn they're forced out, whereas I'm not, because I will outspeed them with my speed investment right here. And then U-Turn is just great against stuff like Latias. If I predict that to come in, because it might be their only ground immunity, I can go ahead and U-Turn out into something like Deontay to set up, Mega Lopunny to go ahead and knock it out with Fake Out plus Return. Those are all very cool scenarios right here, but yeah, Fizdef Lando is also my pivot into a couple Pokemon right here. It could be my Raikou response, although if they Hidden Power Ice as I come in and pop the Yache Berry, I actually don't live the next one, so that's pretty scary right here. It could be one of my Infernape responses, however, I do have to keep that Will-O-Wisp into mind. I believe Infernape does get Will-O-Wisp, so definitely something I can't take out of the picture right here, and then it can go ahead and intimidate Mega Gyarados in the worst case scenario. I actually outspeed Mega Gyarados right here too. I always outspeed that with the 180 Jolly Nature right here, so that's very helpful. And let's go ahead and get right into my Empoleon. Okay, second to last Pokemon I have right here is GoFed T-Sub by Empoleon, which is earning a mixed defense spread right here with the Shuka Berry, so we actually have 3 resistance berries on this team this week. We have Shuka Berry Empoleon, Yache Berry Lando, and then the Pasho Berry Deontay right here. I have Aqua Jet just to be able to go ahead and pick off Infernape in the worst case scenario. If I weaken it with something, whether it's Mega Lopunny's Return, an attack from Thundurus, I can go ahead and pick it off with Aqua Jet in case it comes in to threaten me later. It's actually a secondary Stealth Rocker right here because the rocks are super important for the Deontay sweep right here. Definitely gotta go ahead and get my rocks up if possible. And then the Shuka Berry right here is for the Gyarados. Basically, I can take an Earthquake after a Dragon Dance, and then I can go ahead and roar that thing out. And the worst case scenario, this is also a Cloyster check. Cloyster does nothing to me with both a physical and special set. Plus 2 HP electric would do like 40% with all the speed I have on this, and Flash Cannon kills after rocks, so that's definitely one of my better ways of dealing with Cloyster right here. It's also a normal resist, so in the worst case Kangaskhan, I can go ahead and check that with this too. Although Kangaskhan I believe does get fighting type moves, so maybe not the best plan. It's also my Yanmega check right here. I can definitely go ahead and switch in on Yanmega without caring at all. Air Slash does like 20%, Bug Buzz does even less. Actually, Bug Buzz would do a little bit more from what I remember, so definitely got to keep that in mind. But yeah, it's my Yanmega check. Just a nice special wall right here. Makes it so I'm not 6-0'd by the Cloyster, although I do have Thunder Wave Thundurus too, so in the worst case, I can Prankster Thunder Wave the Cloyster just like I plan to do with the Gyarados right here. A very important Pokemon though, it's probably going to be my Sylveon pivot, because if it's Calm Mind Sylveon, I can go ahead and just roar it out. And if it's a more offensive Sylveon, I can wear it down with Flash Cannon, which could be very good for my Deontay as well. So all things to consider right there. Let's go ahead and move on to my final Pokemon. Okay, and then rounding out the team right here, I have an Assault Vest, 4 attacks, mixed defense Reuniclus right here. Like I said, Infernape is a giant threat to my team, and this is my best check to it right here. If he runs any sort of choice variant, be it Choice Scarf, Choice Band, or Choice Specs, this can take 2 hits. Not after rocks though. If it's Choice Band, and they go for Banded Flare Blitz, and I take a rocks damage coming in, I could get 2-hit KO'd despite all my defense investment right here. The bad scenario would be if he SDs on my switch, and then I'm forced out due to a Z move. That would be very scary right here, but I'm really expecting Infernape to be the Scarfer, because it's able to go ahead and check stuff like Mega Lopunny, stuff like Thundurus Sai for sure, so that would be a good Scarfer. The other Scarfer would be like Latias, of course, but somebody else brought Scarf Latios against me, and I was able to pretty easily deal with that, so I don't know if he's going to bring the Scarf Latias this time. I'm really expecting Scarf Infernape, and Reuniclus is going to go ahead and keep that in check no matter what right here, which is very good. Psyshock, if it doesn't knock it out, it will put it in range of Aqua Jet for my Empoleon, which is very good. Focus Blast, I'm relying on Focus Blast this week if my opponent tries to set up with the Mega Gyarados in front of this thing, because obviously Energy Bell would not actually 2-hit KO that thing, and I can't let it get 2 Dragon Dances up, so definitely Focus Blast is one of my better bets right here. Shadow Ball does really well against the Latias, and then Knock Off can go ahead and knock off the Latias too. This is also my pivot into Pokemon like Raikou, maybe Nidoqueen depending on what spread it is, as well as the Latias too. Now, Calm Mind Latias is something I do have to keep in mind, but if it does end up being Calm Mind, I can just go ahead and knock it off and then roar it out with Empoleon later, so that'll be totally fine. And yeah, that's going to be the team. The match will be going live in 22 hours from when this video goes live. Hope you guys tune in then, and I'll see you later. Peace.